Hey everybody, happy Saturday. Sports guy Chris checking in. We have a big day in the world of college basketball. Of course, tipping off within the hour is the biggest game of the day with the two top teams in the land going at it. Kansas will be visiting Baylor in the Big 12. Both of those teams would be one seeds as of the moment. Baylor would be your top overall seed if the NCAA tournament were to start today. And both of these teams have been red hot, with the exception of undefeated San Diego State. Nobody's playing better than either of these two. Baylor's only loss, you have to go all the way back to the beginning of the year, just the second game of the season, back at the beginning of November, where they dropped a game to Washington. They've won every game since then. And for the Jayhawks, Kansas has not lost since they lost to this very same Baylor team at home back at the beginning of Big 12 play in early January. So it should be a big one today down there in Waco. Of course, that one's tipping off within the hour. Oh man, it should be a great game. I think you've got a coin toss here. I will say this, I like the Jayhawks. I like the way they've been playing. I think Kansas is going to roll in there with some confidence. And I think that the memory of that surprising 11-point home loss to Baylor is going to be in the back of their mind. So I would not be surprised if Kansas got the revenge today and squeaked one out at Baylor. That being said, the Bears have been phenomenal and they just keep winning. So it wouldn't surprise me if they found a way to win another one today. So a big one down there. But I want to jump in and I want to highlight a couple games going on later today in the top 25. We have a full slate of top 25 action and really teams from all over the country going at it today, bubble teams and the such. So one game I want to touch on in the ACC in particular that will be tipping off a little bit later on today is North Carolina at number 11 Louisville. Louisville, of course, struggled last week. They dropped a couple of road games to teams that aren't going to make the tournament, Georgia Tech and Clemson. They bounced back big the other night with a 90-66 home victory over Syracuse. They routed the Orange and most likely popped their bubble. Syracuse had a long way to go anyway to get in the tournament, but after that showing, I think they are pretty well done. For the Cardinals, they got back to their winning ways. They played much better defense. The defense was absolutely atrocious in the 15-point loss at Clemson, so they kind of corrected some wrongs there. That being said, North Carolina, of course, has struggled to a very surprising 10-16 season. That being said, they have played better as of late. Of course, they dropped the very tough game to rival Duke there not too long ago, where it took two miracles from the Dukies to pull that game out. But North Carolina's been playing better. Watch the 9-point spread here. It seems a little bit high only because I could see, North Carolina. A little bit of a trap game here. Louisville gets their confidence back, beating Syracuse the other day, but North Carolina comes in playing better. The Tar Heels are better than their 10-16 record. They're still, surprisingly not that good this year, but I think they are better than what their record would suggest. So keep an eye on that one. I don't think Louisville will lose, but I think it has the potential to be a good game and a sleeper game here. Moving on, one game I really have my eye on here today in the Pac-12 is UCLA visiting number 18 Colorado. The Buffaloes are a 10-point favorite, but I absolutely love UCLA in this particular spot. The Bruins have been hot as of late. They've won 4 straight, and 6 out of 7 included in those victories a home win against these very same Colorado Buffaloes back on January 30th, 72-68. They also won at Arizona on February 8th, 65-52. And then they just won at Utah, 69-58, 2 nights ago to kind of keep the momentum going. So, UCLA coming on strong as of late. Colorado squeaked one out, 70-66 the other night at home over a good USC team. But I have my eye on this one. 10 points seems a little high with the way the Bruins have been playing. They've been playing well on the road and just good overall as of late. So, not to mention, if UCLA were to get a win here today, that would give them a sweep of first place Colorado, a win at Arizona as well on their resume. So they would start to kind of get the impressive wins going and you might have to take a look at the Bruins as a potential, at-large bid. Nobody really has them on the bubble at the moment, but if they win today, I think you got to really take strong consideration. A victory would also put them at 10-5 in the Pac-12. So don't sleep on the Bruins, who all of a sudden are coming alive here at the right time. So Colorado, of course, a good team. They've been in a lot of close games this year. They know how to win, but that 10-point spread is too much for me, especially with how good UCLA's been playing as of late. I like them at the very least to cover that spread today, and I would not be shocked at all if they give the Buffaloes a run for it and even come out of Colorado with an upset victory today, keeping their momentum going and maybe getting themselves onto the bubble. So looking around to some other games today, UNLV, of course, they are just 14-14. They are visiting San Diego State, the previously mentioned unbeaten Aztecs. I love San Diego State to get it done at home today. I'm not sure about the 13.5-point spread. Again, it kind of seems like a game here where you've got a team that's been playing very, very good against some lesser competition. It gets difficult to get up every game throughout a season when the level of competition is not so good. The Mountain West is serving up Utah State, and that's about it in terms of quality teams. So I think San Diego State gets it done. I don't think they're in trouble of an upset today, but watch the 13.5-point spread. That might be a little bit high. And then looking ahead to a couple other games, we've got Oregon, number 14, the number 14 Ducks in action here today, visiting Arizona. The Wildcats, of course, coming in after a blowout victory the other night, and Oregon dropped a tough one at Arizona State. So a couple ranked teams in the Pac-12 going at it. Got the Wildcats a 4.5-point favorite. That should be a very good game. I like Oregon to bounce back, I think, in this one and to play a little bit better. I don't see the Ducks dropping 2 in a row, even though it's another road game. Arizona, of course, solid team, great metrics all the way around. So should be a good one either way in the Pac-12. And then tonight, late tonight, we've got Gonzaga visiting BYU in the West Coast Conference. BYU ranked number 23 at the moment. They would be safely in the tournament. Gonzaga, of course, actually struggled a couple nights ago at home against San Francisco for a half. They went into the locker room trailing 31-22 at home in that game. A big shock, but then they absolutely annihilated the Dons in the second half and rolled to a blowout victory. So, Gonzaga sleepwalked through the first 20 minutes the other day. I don't think they can afford to do that at BYU today. BYU is a better team, and I don't see the Cougars blowing any kind of a second half lead. But that being said, I think this should be a great game. BYU has an opportunity to solidify their resume. They're ranked. They're probably not in danger of missing the tournament as of right now. But lose this game, lose one game to a team you're not supposed to, and it could start to get a little dicey for the Cougars. But this is a great opportunity for them. If they can beat Gonzaga here, they will shore up their resume, probably punch their ticket, and more than likely improve their seed line a little bit. So big opportunity for them. One game I want to touch on that is not in the top 25 today is in the Big Ten. It's the only game in the Big Ten going on today, and it's Michigan at Purdue. Huge bubble implications. Some folks still have the Boilermakers in the tournament despite their 14-13 record. The metrics are great for Purdue, but 14-13 usually is not going to get it done. So Michigan has been red hot. The Wolverines over the course of the last 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, have played themselves from comfortably out of the tournament to firmly on the bubble to firmly in the tournament as of today. In fact, they would probably be more of like a 6 or 7 seed at the moment. So if Purdue drops this one at home, they'll be just 500, 14-14. And that will do it, in my opinion, for the Boilermakers, barring a red hot, just absolute tear through the Big Ten tournament. So big one there for the Boilermakers. They can keep their kind of hopes alive with a victory. A loss would not be detrimental to Michigan with how red hot they've been as of late. So keep an eye on that one in the Big Ten. Another big one there in terms of the bubble. And, of course, we have a full slate of action today. So we've got Virginia Tech visiting Duke. I think the Dukies are in position for a bounce-back victory They're 16.5-point favorite. I would not be surprised if Duke blew the lights out of Virginia Tech after getting annihilated themselves a couple nights ago at NC State, 88-66. So, bounce back spot for the Dukies today. And we've got a great one in the SEC. Florida, 17-9. They are kind of a sneaky good team, solid team right now. They're visiting Kentucky, who's been red hot. The Wildcats are 21-5. They're in sole place now and first in the SEC. Keep an eye on that game. That should be a terrific one in the SEC with some, again, tournament implications. A victory for Florida would move them up the seed line and, again, probably solidify their spot in the NCAA tournament. So, all kinds of action today, guys. Big, big games. Gave you a few of my picks, the teams that I like today. So, enjoy the full slate of basketball. Of course, we got PC, on the alma mater in action here shortly against Marquette in a big game. The Friars have played themselves firmly onto the bubble. If they can beat Marquette at home today, I think they would be in as of right now. That would be a seventh quad one victory if they can get it done today. So, anywho, everybody, enjoy the full slate of college basketball action here today, and I will be back tomorrow giving you an update in everything in the college basketball world and NCAA tournament. Happy Saturday. Enjoy those games. Sports Guy Chris, we'll see you tomorrow.